Fishing is peaceful until something drags you in. These 36 real fishing encounters, all caught on camera, reveal the dark side of a simple day on the water. Let's dive in. A woman was spending a relaxing day by Lake Champlain with her dog when an unexpected and frightening moment occurred.
Flip! Come here, Flip! Oh my gosh. Flip, come!
As her pet played near the water, a huge creature suddenly surfaced right where the dog had been swimming. Shocked, she called out frantically for her companion to return. Some viewers later suggested the video could have been CGI, while others speculated it might show the legendary Lake Champlain monster, Champ. Thankfully, the most important detail is that the dog made it out safely. A father and his young son were out fishing in Palm Coast when the day suddenly took an unexpected turn.
Dad, I'm tired.
It's all right, buddy. Keep going.
I'm tired.
You got it.
Oh,
You got it.
he's not a fighter. I mean, this might have been a bit of a real time catcher.
Oh my God.
Dad encouraged his boy, reminding him to keep steady, praising the fish's strength as it resisted the line. But in the middle of their excitement, something shocking happened. From the water, an alligator lunged forward, snatching the bass right off the hook and even dragging the fishing pole away. The child was left startled and scared by the sudden scene. Luckily, the animal only took the catch, and both father and son were unharmed. During a boating trip in Northern Ireland, YouTuber Conal Malarkey and his group of friends spotted a massive creature rising briefly from the water, moving alongside their boat.
Look at the size of it. It's massive.
Here, get the sign.
What is that?
You getting this?
Startled voices can be heard asking, "What is that?" At first, they assumed it could be a whale, since whales are occasionally seen in Lough Foyle. But one of the men, Matthew, who had the closest view, was certain it wasn't a whale at all. Connell later explained that the sighting looked completely unfamiliar, even joking that Lough Foyle might have its very own Loch Ness monster. Though they caught the event on camera, the footage was too unclear to solve the mystery. They uploaded the clip online, asking viewers and experts to share their thoughts. On March 1st, 2023, fishermen near the coast of Venice, Louisiana, ran into an unexpected ordeal while targeting yellowfin tuna. Rather than catching fish, they found themselves surrounded by a massive swarm of sharks. The sea around their boat erupted into chaos, with sharks thrashing violently and snapping at everything nearby. Each time the fishermen hooked something, it was stolen almost instantly by the predators before reaching the surface. Very soon, it became obvious that this was not going to be a successful day of fishing. While fishing by a river in Rocky Hill, someone recorded what at first looked like a peaceful moment on camera. Yet when the footage was later zoomed in, something disturbing came into view. Far in the background, a faint, translucent figure could be seen moving with an unnatural stride. Some believe it may be the spirit of a long-gone farmer, since the area is known for its deep history. Others suggest it's nothing more than a trick of the light or a camera glitch. Still, the figure truly seems to be walking. While fishing in Brazil, a group of men came across something completely unfamiliar. At first, they assumed it was nothing more than floating fabric or plastic debris, but then the object began to move. One of them managed to lift the strange creature from the water. Its shape resembled that of a bat, though unsettling in appearance. What do you think it could be? An unknown species, or just an elaborate hoax? In early 2025, a couple spending time at Lacamar Beach in Lima recorded something truly unsettling.
Está bueno porque era mucho quito, ¿no? Y todo esto bueno para cuidando al gato.
As they fished and enjoyed the sunset, they suddenly spotted a dark, shadow-like figure moving across the surface of the water. as though it were walking on solid ground. The strange part is that this area is known to be deep, which made the sight even harder to understand. The figure looked human in shape, but moved in an unusual way. What was meant to be a peaceful evening turned into a chilling mystery, one that remains unexplained to this day. A Reddit user shared something bizarre he encountered while on a fishing trip. Instead of a normal seashell, a hermit crab had made its home inside the hollow head of a plastic doll. Typically, these crabs choose shells for protection, but this one gave off a far creepier appearance. Imagine strolling along the beach and suddenly noticing that doll's head crawling toward you. Most people would instinctively step back in shock. A woman and her family were taking a walk along the beach after finishing a fishing trip when something strange began to happen. In one particular spot, the streetlights flickered on and off, and down by the water stood a woman dressed in white, completely motionless, as if tied to the phenomenon. Too frightened to approach alone, she asked two men nearby to investigate. The tension grew heavier, but just as they got close, the recording suddenly ended.
Olha os meninos gritando pra ela. Olha lá, ó.
Será que ele se aproxima?
Eu vou descer só um pouquinho aqui. Eu dou zoom.
Parece que eu já tô tranquila.
Aí agora eles vão começar a jogar. Não faz isso não! Pergunta se ela tá bem!
Não faz isso não, moço!
Pergunta se ela tá bem!
Voices in Portuguese can be heard, commenting and urging caution, some suggesting to ask if the woman was okay rather than provoke her. No one really knows who filmed the clip, who the mysterious figure was, or what took place after the camera stopped. At first glance, nothing about it seemed staged. Her reaction appeared genuinely fearful. Yet the fact that the footage cuts off at the most critical moment only deepens the mystery. A father took his son on a fishing trip and casually snapped a few photos along the way. At first, nothing in the images looked out of the ordinary. But later, as they reviewed the pictures, the boy noticed something unsettling. A pale, ghostly figure standing behind a tree in the distance. They were certain no one else had been nearby at the time, which left them shocked at the possibility they weren't alone. To this day, the figure's identity remains a mystery. This strange footage was filmed on the Burrito River in Borneo, Indonesia. In the clip, a crocodile can be seen moving in a way that almost resembles a drowning person. But zoologist Graham Webb offered a different explanation. He believes the animal's tail may have been trapped, which stopped it from swimming naturally. So what was truly going on with this crocodile? A group of men were out fishing and exploring the waterways by boat when they suddenly witnessed something shocking.
He got the little one and he's trying to get the little one. He's about to get off.
A massive crocodile came crashing down from a tree into the river, immediately grabbing everyone's attention. The men quickly pulled out a camera just as the scene escalated into a dramatic confrontation between two crocodiles. The larger reptile quickly overpowered the smaller one, showing the raw dominance of nature. Stunned by what they had just seen, the men decided it was best to make a quick retreat, keeping a safe distance from the aggressive predator. In early 2023, a 17-year-old girl's life was cut short after a shark encounter unfolded in full view of her family on Australia's southwest coast. What began as a joyful family outing during the Easter weekend, a day filled with sunshine, surf, and the promise of lasting memories, quickly turned into an unimaginable nightmare. Her name was Letitia Brower. At just 17, she carried a quiet passion for the ocean. Confident in the water, she had spent countless hours learning the rhythm of the waves. That day, she joined her parents and sisters at Wiley Bay in Esperance, Western Australia. With her surfboard under her arm, she paddled out beside her father, unaware that hidden danger lurked beneath the turquoise surface. From the shore, her mother and two younger sisters watched peacefully as father and daughter shared the water. It looked almost sacred, a picture of calm and connection. Then, in a single moment, everything changed. A scream tore through the air, breaking the stillness. The water churned, and the peaceful rhythm was gone. Her father turned and knew instantly that something was wrong. A shark, believed to be a great white, had struck. Without hesitation, he rushed to her side. With the help of another teenage surfer, he managed to get her onto a board and fought desperately against the waves to bring her back to shore. On the beach, her mother and sisters stood frozen as emergency responders rushed in to help. Paramedics tried urgently to stabilize her condition. She was taken to Esperance Hospital, but despite all efforts, she did not make it. Police later described the incident as devastating. Acting Senior Sergeant Ben Jeffers said her father had done everything possible to save her. Family members, overwhelmed with shock, called it a tragedy beyond words. What made it even harder for them was how close it happened to shore, in a spot they knew well, one that had always felt safe. Her uncle, Steve Evans, later told reporters the family was shattered. He added that while there was some comfort in knowing Letitia was doing something she loved, no words could soften the pain of losing her so suddenly. Authorities closed Wiley Bay immediately, warning surfers and swimmers to stay away for at least 2 days. Locals were reminded that this wasn't the first serious incident at the beach. Just a few years earlier, another surfer had suffered life-altering injuries in an attack at the very same spot. Letitia's loss sent shockwaves through Esperance and the wider surfing community across Western Australia. Friends and neighbors described her as careful, experienced, and deeply passionate about the sea. Yet this heartbreaking event served as a reminder of how unpredictable and unforgiving nature can be. She was the third person in less than a year in the state to lose their life to sharks. Even now, years later, the memory of that day lingers. Residents recall the eerie silence that followed once the sirens faded. Many admit the ocean no longer feels quite the same. Wiley Bay, once a place of joy and freedom, is now remembered as the site of a family's deepest heartbreak, and of a young woman who entered the water chasing waves but never returned. On August 8th, an angler headed out to fishing hole number 3, hoping for a good catch of smallmouth bass. As he explored the area, he began hearing strange knocking sounds echoing through the trees, noises that instantly reminded him of Bigfoot encounters.
Alright, if you look right there, you will see a deer skull.
When he eventually made his way back toward his car, he spotted something he hadn't noticed earlier: a deer skull resting near the trail. Later, while reviewing the photos he had taken that day, he thought one image might show a shadowy Bigfoot-like figure. But without solid proof, the sighting remains pure speculation. 2 fishermen in Kununurra, Western Australia, got dangerously close to a crocodile estimated to be between 4.5 and 5 meters long. Curious, they edged their boat nearer for a closer look. But the massive reptile wasn't pleased. It suddenly surged toward them, forcing a rapid retreat. Thankfully, the men reacted quickly and escaped without injury. A man was clearing out a shallow, muddy waterway when something unusual beneath the surface caught his attention.
And I come across this skull. And I want to believe that it's fake, but I'm just about to pull it out and see.
He thought he had stumbled across a skull and admitted he wanted to believe it was fake, yet curiosity pushed him to pull it out and see. Partially buried in the silt, the object resembled a human skull. He tried several times to retrieve it, but his tool kept slipping away. Viewers online were split. Some insisted it was staged, while others believed he had uncovered something unsettling. After multiple attempts, he finally managed to lift it free. To everyone's relief, it turned out to be nothing more than a fake skull, though for a moment it certainly felt much darker. Photographer Michael Green was out capturing the beauty of Cunard Bay when he unknowingly took a picture that seemed unusual. Months later, while reviewing his images, he spotted what looked like a strange creature in the distance. At first he assumed it could be a shark or perhaps a dolphin, but on closer inspection, the figure appeared to have a long neck and a beak, making it resemble a sea monster rising from the water. The mystery didn't last long, though. It was simply an optical illusion, a seagull flying at just the right angle in front of the camera, its position creating the illusion of a creature from the deep. In the end, the sea monster was only a bird. A group of friends were spending time by the beach when they noticed something unusual along the shoreline. From a distance, it seemed like piles of seaweed or scattered debris. But as they walked closer, they realized the sand was covered with numerous dead fish. Many appeared damaged or oddly discolored, and while some looked decayed, strangely, most of the bodies were still whole. The scene felt unsettling, as if something unnatural had caused it. To this day, people continue to wonder what might have been responsible. Two women were gently drifting along the Mississippi River when the calm surface was suddenly broken by a loud splash. Startled, they turned their heads and froze in place. From beneath the water, massive clawed limbs pushed upward, snagging onto the fishing net beside their boat. For a brief moment, it resembled the paws of a bear, just claws and ripples spreading across the water. Then the creature revealed itself, an enormous alligator-snapping turtle drawn to the fish caught in the net. Frightened, the women hurried to release the net. Satisfied, the turtle slipped back under the surface, leaving only ripples in the water and pounding hearts behind. One early morning at North Topsail, a fisherman came across something unusual and decided to share it on Facebook. On the beach lay the remains of a shark, seemingly cut or torn in half. Locals were left puzzled, wondering what kind of predator could have caused it. The RMS Queen Mary, a retired ocean liner permanently docked in Long Beach, California, is often described as one of the most haunted ships in the world. Among the many stories tied to it, one of the most well-known is about a young girl who, according to legend, lost her life in the ship's swimming pool during its sailing years. Over time, visitors have reported unsettling encounters, footsteps echoing down empty corridors, mysterious knocks, and sudden chills. One guest even captured a strange photo afterward. Could it have been the girl from the legend? A fisherman at Squat Creek Reservoir in Glen Rose, Texas, noticed something unusual moving in the water.
What is that? Is that a dead?
As he got closer,
At first, he thought it might be a massive fish, but as he and his crew looked closer, they realized it was actually a deer in the water.
Looks like a deer, dude. It's a dead deer. What happened? Did it just like fall down this hill? Holy.
And a large crocodile had taken hold of it. The men were stunned, unsure of what they were witnessing, as the powerful reptile worked to pull its catch away. Shocked voices can be heard questioning what just happened. In the end, they chose not to interfere, understanding that this was part of the natural cycle of the wild, and that the crocodile was certain to dominate the encounter. One bright afternoon at Lake Hickory, a man was out fishing when he noticed something unusual near the Oxford Dam. It appeared to be an old World War II-era flag, still waving in the wind. When he later shared the image online, the post quickly drew strong reactions and heated discussion. Many viewers connected it to the area's complicated past. For more chilling moments, stay tuned for the next video. Reddit user Bean Jerky uploaded footage from what looked like an ordinary fishing trip until something strange appeared. Around the 16-second mark, a faint figure can be seen briefly in the background, sparking plenty of speculation about what it might have been. Still, the sighting on its own doesn't feel entirely convincing as solid proof. Later, at around 41 seconds, the fisherman turns and responds as if someone were in the water, even glancing toward the same spot where the figure had shown up earlier. So was this just a setup meant to suggest a ghostly encounter? Or did they accidentally capture something unexplained on camera? Inside the captain's quarters, he was still seated at his post, frozen solid and preserved almost like a statue. His clothing and features appeared untouched, as if time itself had paused. The extreme cold had kept him preserved for centuries, leaving behind an eerie reminder of the past. There was no sign of the rest of the crew, and no explanation for why the ship was left drifting. Perhaps they abandoned him, Or maybe he was the last one aboard. No one truly knows. On October 7th, 2022, a man was fishing alone on a wide, quiet lake when he suddenly experienced a chilling moment.
There we go. Oh, shit. I don't know what the hell that was, but there we go. Oh, shit. I don't know what.
In the middle of recording, an eerie voice echoed in the background, startling him and prompting an immediate reaction of fear.
I don't know what the hell that was, but I don't know what the hell that was, but
The sound was unlike anything natural, not an animal, nor anything he had ever heard before. The strange noise quickly sparked speculation online, with many debating its origin. Was it something paranormal, a rare natural phenomenon, or perhaps an unknown presence hidden near the lake? To this day, the unsettling moment continues to puzzle viewers, as the man's repeated disbelief captured on camera only adds to the mystery of what really happened that night. While ice fishing near Finger Lakes, New York, a man noticed something unusual glowing in the distance. The photos revealed a massive yellow light stretching high into the night sky. At first glance, it appeared mysterious, but the phenomenon is actually a natural optical effect called light pillars. This occurs when light, either from natural or artificial sources, reflects off flat, hexagonal ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere during cold weather. These crystals act like tiny mirrors, creating the illusion of vertical beams of light rising upward. Because of their surreal and striking appearance, light pillars are often mistaken for unexplained or otherworldly events, yet in reality, they are one of nature's most fascinating visual tricks. Later, on another lake, two fishermen experienced something far more alarming. As they enjoyed their trip, loud noises suddenly erupted nearby.
Whoa! Whoa, what's going on? Holy smokes! You kidding me, dude? What are you doing? Be careful, man. What are you doing? What was going on? Where are you shooting at, though?
Startled, they realized the sounds were coming from a dock close to them, where a homeowner had carelessly discharged a firearm. One of the shots came dangerously close to their boat, leaving them shaken and unsure of the man's intentions. The fishermen exchanged confused words, wondering why anyone would fire a gun so close to a public lake, especially in an area surrounded by houses and campers.
It literally scared the crap out of us.
Very close. It ricocheted and hit the water.
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on.
I didn't really want to talk about it a lot with him, but
yeah, didn't want to talk around him. Didn't want to put him on blast or anything.
Oh, he should be put on blast.
Yeah, it seemed like an accident, but he wouldn't explain himself. Or anything. Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Why are you shooting a gun in a public lake? Hey, why are you shooting a gun at a public lake? Literally with houses and campers everywhere. But hey, don't do that. That was definitely the first and closest time to me being shot.
I'm very shaken up right now.
And yeah, that was goofy, but we caught a couple of really nice bass, as you guys saw.
They recalled the man offering little explanation, only muttering a half-hearted apology. The situation left them feeling unsafe and unsettled. Though no one was physically harmed, the experience was enough to make the pair quickly pack up and leave. Both later admitted they had never been in such a frightening situation on the water before. What should have been a peaceful day of fishing turned into a tense and unforgettable reminder of how quickly things can go wrong when others act recklessly. A family was out enjoying a fun fishing trip together when they decided to snap a photo to remember the day. Later, while looking back at the picture, they noticed something unsettling in the background. A faint, translucent figure appeared to be standing just behind the little girl. The family explained that no one else had been near them at the time, which made the discovery feel even stranger. Had they accidentally captured a ghostly presence, or is there a more ordinary explanation for what the camera revealed? A woman visited a beach long associated with mysterious accidents in the water. Not long after arriving, she began hearing strange and unsettling sounds.
Quack.
Oh.
Then came a splash. When she pointed her flashlight toward the noise, she saw something that left her frozen. A pale figure stood in the middle of the water, resembling a person dressed in white. Overwhelmed with fear, she quickly left the area, completely unsure of what she had just witnessed, and left wondering if it was something natural or something unexplained. Someone was fishing along a river beneath a large bridge, casually panning their camera on a sunny afternoon. Suddenly, something unusual appeared. A gray figure, shaped somewhat like a person, but not entirely human, stepped out briefly from behind one of the bridge pillars. Before the camera could capture a clearer view, the figure slipped back out of sight and was gone. No one can really explain what happened. Why would anyone, or anything, be standing in such a place? The odd sight left many viewers wondering whether it was simply a trick of perspective or something unearthly. A Reddit user shared a mysterious photo taken by a friend at Marion Lake in Kansas during dusk. In the image, their dog is seen on the shoreline, staring intently toward the tree line. The picture had originally been snapped to capture the colorful sunset, but later, something unusual became visible in the background. From the dark woods, a pale, human-like figure seemed to be emerging. Its presence sparked endless debate. Was it a trick of the light, an ordinary person, or something unexplained? And most intriguingly, what exactly had the dog noticed first? On Sunday, June 23, 2024, the surfing world lost one of its most beloved figures. Tamayo Perry, a surfer, lifeguard, and actor, passed away after an incident in the waters off Goat Island, Hawaii. The afternoon on Oahu's north shore seemed deceptively calm. The ocean shimmered under the Hawaiian sun, waves rolling gently like glass. For Tamayo, it was just another day in paradise, surfboard under his arm, heading into waters he knew better than most. Goat Island was his home break, a place he had surfed for decades. To him, the sea was not just a playground, but a sanctuary and a lifelong teacher. Tamayo Perry was far more than just another surfer. He was a local legend, admired for his humility, courage, and deep connection to the ocean. As a lifeguard, he had dedicated his life to protecting others, saving countless lives along Hawaii's shores. As a teacher, he inspired a generation of surfers to approach the ocean with both respect and joy. And as a man, he was known for his infectious smile, his warmth, and his spirit. His career extended beyond the water as well. Tamayo appeared in films and television, including Pirates of the Caribbean, Blue Crush, Lost, and Hawaii 5-0. Yet for all his success in Hollywood, he remained grounded, reminding everyone that his true story was written in the waves of his island home. That day, while surfing waves he had likely ridden thousands of times before, tragedy struck. Despite the immediate response of lifeguards rushing to his aid, the beloved waterman could not be saved. He was just 49 years old. The news spread quickly across Hawaii and the global surf community. Shock turned to heartbreak as tributes poured in for a man who was not only admired, but genuinely loved. Acting Ocean Safety Chief Kurt Lager described him as a lifeguard loved by all. Honolulu Mayor Rick Blangiardi called his passing a tragic loss, honoring him as a legendary waterman whose life embodied the spirit of Hawaii. Friends, fellow surfers, and those who had grown up watching him master the waves gathered in disbelief. The ocean itself seemed quieter in the days that followed, as if mourning one of its own. Tamayo once described himself as just a small-time island boy who could bang it out with the world's best. And he did. He conquered waves that challenged even the bravest. He brought safety and comfort to countless beachgoers. He carried with him a joy and passion for the ocean as vast as the Pacific itself. His passing is a painful reminder of the ocean's unpredictability, but it also highlights the beauty of a life lived with courage, humility, and devotion. Tamayo Perry's legacy is not one of fear, but of inspiration. His name will live on in the surf breaks of Hawaii, in the stories told by his friends, and in the countless lives he touched. Though the sea has taken him, it can never erase the mark he left behind. Tamayo Perry's life was a wave, powerful, graceful, unforgettable. And just like the ocean he loved, his spirit will continue to move endlessly, inspiring generations to come. A Reddit user shared a chilling experience while visiting Lake Colby in Casadaga, Florida. As they experimented with the flash on their phone camera, they snapped a photo of two women standing nearby, the tour guide and a young woman in a baseball cap. When reviewing the image, they noticed something strange. A faint face appeared just behind the young woman. Looking around, there was no one in the group who resembled the figure. When the user showed the picture to the young woman and her mother, both reacted with shock, saying the face looked strikingly similar to a close family friend who had passed away when the girl was much younger. Later, the family even shared a photo of that friend, and the resemblance was undeniable. Brazilian YouTuber Anderson Guedes was kayaking with friends when he believed he had hooked a massive fish.
Vem cá, garoto. Vem cá, quem que é? Quem que é? Rapaz, olha que lindo, cara. Olha só, faz tempo que eu não pego desse, cara. Olha que bonito, cara, que acará bonita.
Excited, he shouted in Portuguese as he pulled hard on the line, thrilled at the idea of landing such an impressive catch. But excitement quickly shifted to frustration when the hook became lodged deep underwater. Anderson tugged with all his strength, only for his fishing rod to snap in half.
Caramba, cara. Cara, olha isso aqui. Tô falando, é grande demais, cara. Olha isso aqui, gurizada.
Unwilling to give up, he began reeling the line in by hand, still convinced something huge was waiting below the surface. His friends watched as he struggled, the tension building with every pull. Then came the shocking discovery. Instead of a giant fish, Anderson had hooked into a crocodile. The powerful reptile thrashed with such force that Anderson had no choice but to cut the line, bringing his fishing session to an abrupt and unforgettable end. A person was quietly fishing, enjoying the calm waters and reeling in a few small catches, when the unexpected suddenly happened.
What the?
From out of nowhere, a speedboat came racing toward them at full speed. Despite the obvious risk, the boat didn't slow down. Within seconds, it slammed into the fishing vessel, causing a serious accident on the water. The exact cause of the crash remains uncertain, as do the details of what happened afterward. With incidents like this, the hope is always that everyone involved walked away without injury. That's all for tonight's video. Which encounter gave you chills? Let us know in the comments below. Got your own experience? We want to hear it. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next.